Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Trade. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is the U.S. Mid-Session Brief. We've got a lot going on today, at least from a strategy perspective. Today, I thought was a great day to cover some strategy. We're going to talk Bollinger W. We're also going to touch upon a live trade, some entries that I have going right now on WTI crude oil. It's been really a slow day in WTI. I'm not blown away at all with the price action, but that's to be expected. Remember, Monday is a day to get ahead. It's a day to game plan, and I couldn't think of a better day to have a strategy session. So I want to welcome everybody to How to Trade. If this is your first time, and it very well may be, we put a video out a couple days back of the 9 EMA trading strategy. If you are sort of referred to this stream from the video, welcome. Absolutely love to have you. If you're watching us on the How to Trade YouTube, X, or over on Facebook or our trading room, that's great. Cruise by the trading room if you have any questions. We have a lot of strategies here, and we're going to go over one of those today, the W strategies for trading double bottoms. But first, we've got a couple other things to go over. If you need a broker, of course, Switch Markets is our partner broker here. Be sure to check them out. Lots of bonuses if you're eligible, if you're in a region where Switch Markets does service. 100% credit bonus could be a very, very good thing to boost your leverage and your capital efficiency if, in fact, you're interested in the markets. All right. Let's start off with a trade follow-up. This is sort of an interesting trade that we put out last week. This is one of the things that we do here. We do with our market analytics. And if, in fact, you're not familiar with our analytics, what exactly it is it's daily trade ideas from myself and Connor Woods. We're going to go ahead and take a look at how you get there. I get this question a lot. You click right there on market analysis, and then what do you got? You got right here, you got trade ideas 2 a day. I've got a retracement buyout today in the US 500. So this is the past trade idea that actually panned out relatively good. And what it was a market buy on the W strategy from 111.35. Now, right now we're trading about 111.49. This is a weekly Fibonacci retracement level. We got a nice pullback down and really just a beautiful check of that zone of 11.32.6. But if you do want to take a look at exactly how effective this trade was, it's best to go right to the daily chart. We were talking about really buying 35s at market last Thursday, and it turned out to be an absolutely fantastic trade. We've got beautiful compression, and I know a lot of traders hate compression. You hate whipsaw markets. You want to trade trends. Everybody wants the 1 to 5, the 1 to 10, the 1 to 15, 10x winners, and we all want to go buy Cadillacs and Ferraris and all that stuff and fly private or at least first class. And that's great. And I think those goals are fantastic. If those are your goals, you've probably been watching a lot of YouTube. I would say that a more reasonable goal is to try to earn a living in the markets, and we talk about how to do that each and every day here. What I will say, though, is rotation is beautiful. I love it. I really do. I love rotation. I love flat markets. I know exactly how to trade them. I know how to trade trends, but I love trading flat markets because I go into a flat market and say, okay, I'm not really looking to make a fortune on this trade, but I'm looking to make a pretty good return. And what we have is just beautiful trading conditions. We have this spike high that developed Wednesday, and essentially I said, listen, buy it at market. At market, right around in the vicinity of 111.35 was right here, and we bought that thing. It was beautiful. Went right up. We sort of got some compression at 112, so we took off. We really took our points, about 40 pips there, 44 pips. Got it relatively easily, and we've got it several times. So in my opinion, that was a fantastic trade, and I was very, very happy about bringing that one your way. I thought it was a good trade and one that we definitely could sink our teeth into. So let's talk W's. And the other thing is, actually, before we talk W's, we'll go 9 EMA. This is the 9 EMA. I have got 50 questions, 60 questions, 100 questions about the 9 EMA strategy. A lot of folks were interested in it. I find it fascinating because you never know what people are really going to like. The 9 EMA can be a great strategy for you. It really can be. This is just a conventional look at what it can do for you depending on what you're trading and what your time frame is. So I want to answer the questions that I received very, very carefully because I got to watch what I say. I can't give you investment advice. I can't tell you what to do with your money, and I can't tell you exactly how to trade. But what I can tell you is something like the 9 EMA, okay? The first inclination that most traders are going to have is they're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to put it on a 1-minute chart, and I'm going to execute 1,000 trades a day, and I'm going to make my money that way. And you certainly can do that. And if you're going to do that, remember, you need a couple of things. Number one, you need good market efficiency. You need deep markets. You need tight spreads, and you need to make sure that you're getting your numbers. You're getting filled. Okay, that's the 9 EMA. If you're conventional 9 EMA, boom, you're buying when you break above it. You're selling when you break below it. I got this question a lot. I go, Shane, you're going to get faked out a lot. And I go, not really. Not if you pick the right time frame and the right time of day to do this. It's all about timing. If you wanted to be a 1-minute trader, you could do this 9 EMA on a 1 minute. You really could. You could trade this. You could add the 20 and do the crossovers. You could trade pullbacks. Pullbacks can work just fine. You can try to trend trade it right there. I mean, on that 1 minute, yeah, theoretically, you got short, you got compressed and really chopped to death here, but you took a huge move there, and you took a huge move there as well. So if you want to be a trend trader, you can do it. It's a very diverse strategy. What I like to do, and just sort of use it as a reference, the 13-period EMA is sort of my go-to, my bread and butter, but you could take a look at something like the E-mini S&P 500 futures and go, what's the best time? When should I be trading the E-mini S&P 500? U.S. session. U.S. session. Why? Volume. Efficiency. That's absolutely key. It's of paramount importance that you understand that a volume at deep market is a healthy market, and that's what we got to have to trade. If you don't have a deep market, you cannot trade. Very difficult. Spreads get wide. Slippage gets big. You can position trade it. You just can't really scalp it. All right, if we're going to use this thing to scalp, take a look at what we have here. Right there, 7:30. That's your New York cash open. Ding, ding. What happens here? 9 EMA, 30-minute chart. What happens? You get a bar close right there. You get a huge wick up. You get a close. That would be a signal to buy. Just buy above it. Okay, buy above it. The next question would be, Shane, where do I put my stop loss? It's very clear in the video what you need to be doing with your stops. Previous swing high or swing low. In this case, your stop would be beneath that swing low. Well, that occurred during the pre-market. I go, yeah, it did. That's what we would call your overnight low, your Europe low, your London low. What are you doing right now? You're doing very well. You're doing very well. You caught the trend, you got the move, and now it's just a question of where do you want to get out at? You know, and we talk about how to do that in the video. So if you saw the video and you're interested, we could certainly, I could sit here and just wax on about the 9 EMA all day long. Maybe that's what we need to do. I may do just a live trading session later this week that just deals with this strategy. It's just one, though. It's one arrow in your quiver. It's one tool in your belt. It's one way to punch. If you don't know boxing at all, Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, those guys are going to be punching a lot different. Tyson's going to be working uppercuts, and Jake Paul's going to try to keep him outside. That's just one way that we attack the markets. And there's a million of them, and we've got a lot of them in the trading room. So I do encourage everybody to sort of take a look at the strategy we're going to talk about today. And then also some Fibonacci's is my specialty. I definitely I'll take any and all questions if they do come up. Let's see right here, Dragon 131. Good morning, Shane. You've talked about a golden zone in fib trading. Could you discuss that? Also, is there a video on Forex signals on that? It's a Dragonfly. It's on the YouTube channel. It's called the Fibonacci Golden Zone Strategy. Go check that out at howtotrade.com, how to trade on YouTube. And I really walk through it. Basically, the golden zone is the difference between the 50% and the 62%. So when I talk about a golden zone buy or a golden zone sell, we're going active right in between the 50 and 62%. Let me see right here. Let me see. I got a couple other questions, and then we're going to go ahead and move on. It's working. My ad blocker was preventing it. All right. Let me see. Stephen Brown, eLab will make you rich. Please take 2 minutes to look into eLab, and you won't regret it. I don't even know what eLab is. Looks like I got spammed right there. Good work, Stephen. You got me. You absolutely got me. In any case, right here, though, the 9 EMA can work. Now, from a pragmatic perspective, I'll show you exactly what I'm looking to do today. To answer your question, Dragon, your golden zone strategy right there, this is going to be a good look at what I'm trying to get accomplished today with WTI crude. Remember, it's starting off on Monday. I'm not really interested in taking huge risks. What do I have here? I've got a weekly retracement level. Ignore the red lines. Those are range numbers. That's secret sauce. I can't get into that. I've signed agreements. I can't get into that. But what I will say is this. Nice spike low, spike high. Our golden zone is where? 62%, the area between 50% and 62%, and I sort of have it shaded gold. You'll notice we're trading in the golden zone now for WTI crude. So how does that impact my trading? It really doesn't impact my plan. I've got a daily 13 EMA up there, right around 69.44, and let's just cursor over and sort of show you what I'm doing. This is my DOM. This is my trading DOM. I really would love to sell 41s up there. I don't think we're going to get a chance. That's about $1 up there. And as far as a bid here, a bid on WTI, I have no problem bidding the bottom of that golden zone today, 67.59. We are in no man's land for WTI crude. So I was really hopeful when right before we came on, we were trading right around 69, somewhere in there. And I still have my orders locked and loaded up there at 41 sells to the short. We're not going to get that today. Maybe we got about 90 minutes left in active trade. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe we won't. If we do get a move during this stream, I'll be more than happy to put this up and trade it live right in front of you. Remember, my white DOM, that's my broker. That's real money. If we do anything on TradingView, it's always demo dollars. So the size, and another thing, don't mirror my size. I don't want anybody out there trying to do trade the size that we're trading here for instructional purposes. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you how to manage your money, okay? That's all. I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, so the big thing we want to focus on today is I do want to go over the Bollinger W strategy. Now, we already sort of covered where to find our analytics. If you're brand new to our trading room, and I get this question a lot, so if you're a veteran, just bear with us, guys. Let me see. You're going to click on that to Education Cap, and you're going to go right here to your Trading Academy, and you'll notice right on the top we have some strategies. They're pretty good strategies. Now, one of the comments that I got on the YouTube channel, and there was a lot of views and a lot of new folks that I just love interacting with traders, and one of the things that came out was, Shane, this is a decent strategy, but you have to make it your own to make it work. I agree 1,000%. If you're going to make a horse race out of these markets, if you're going to do anything in the markets, you've got to have a strategy, yeah, but it's got to be yours. Now, I'm not saying sit around and get into some heavy mathematics and try to devise, some sort of scalping system based on whatever type of statistical framework you want to put in place. You can use other people's work. As a matter of fact, I highly recommend it. Now, if in fact we're going to do that, we have to make it our own. So I always recommend picking something that's intuitive, that makes sense to you to begin with, and then you just start manipulating it or tailoring it to your own tastes, your own cash, what you want to get done. And we got a place to get started here. We got the Piranha strategy, pretty good one. The pendulum's one of my favorites. The trend riders, one of Connor's favorites. He's good at the trend rider. Japanese noodles, an advanced strategy using the Ishimoku cloud. So you can definitely, Tenkin charts. I don't know much about the Japanese noodle. I would have to get well versed, but I do know the Bollinger W relatively well. And then we've got Bach the Talk, which is a news strategy. We've got a couple other strategies in the works right now. Those will probably be hitting sometime this year, maybe early next year. In any case, the Bollinger W was what came to pass from John Bollinger, and it was really just his brain. It was his strategy, and I sort of hit it. All you do is click on it, and you go through. You watch the video. It is not long, about 6 minutes or so. Put a lot of work into that one. Go to Learning Resources, download your PDF, take a look at your strategy guides, your trade examples. We've got it all right there for you. So definitely, if you're interested in the Bollinger W, what you're going to want to do there is you're going to want to take a bit of a look at that video and the tutorial here. Let's see, Crypto Gambles. Do I want to go to short crude here for 20? No. I mean, you could short crude right now, but I'm not really too interested in it. So I would pass on that. I would definitely pass on that. It's in rotation, guys. I don't know which way crude's going. I know if it goes up or down and gets to one of my levels on the outside, we're going to get all over it. But until then, I'm not doing anything. Remember, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when we make our money. I'm very excited for those trading days. I'm not interested at all losing anything today. Don't lose anything today. So in any case, there's our strategies. We're going to focus on the Bollinger W. Let me see, Marv 1984. Let me see. Hey, Shane, thanks for the Bollinger W. Trying to pick it out in the markets. Is there a trade shaping up on the 30-minute for gold now? That's exactly one of the ones we're going to look at. Good work, Marv. We're going to look at gold and Bitcoin. Those are going to be our W strategies. So the biggest thing to remember about the W is, I'm going to be very honest. This is easy. It's easy. W. Double bottom. Now, the way that we qualify this double bottom is we go right to our Bollinger Bands. We throw a set of Bollinger Bands on the chart, and we go in there and say, okay, anything beneath there for our first low, that's going to be the first initial bottom. Pullback, second low, has to be inside of that lower Bollinger Band, and that's a signal to buy the market. That's it. That's all there is to it. And if we understand that, if we know that, then it's easy really to find these markets. Now, where would we first start looking for a market that's not necessarily applicable, but a ripe one for the Bollinger W? We're going to look at markets that are in downtrends, and I'm going to show you those in just a second. There's two of them that jump off my chart today that I think we're going to get a winner on. Actually, three of them, but let's just have a good look. This is exactly the most difficult part of the Bollinger W, 1,000%. It's relatively simple to spot a downward moving price in the first low beneath your Bollinger Band. It's relatively easy to spot a pullback. The second low is self-explanatory. We're looking for price to stall out beneath that lower Bollinger Band. The most difficult part of this strategy is going to be where to buy this thing at. Now, according to John Bollinger, it's buy in on a large bullish candle and you buy on the close. Okay, that's great, John. What is a large candle? Is a large candle the same to me as it is to you? There's some nuance there. I'm going to try to show you how to stay out of trouble Remember, dojis and hammers, we don't buy on those. Even if you got a really sort of a long-legged doji on both sides, you stay out of that, even if it has a nice green close. We're looking for candles with nice big green bodies. And if you don't have your candlestick charts set to red and green, I recommend doing just that. I think that could really help you trade-wise. So this is a good look at what we're going to try to do. And then right here, this is a successful one. This is an illustration of a successful one. Bam, you've got a nice low right outside that first low there. Bang, pull back, bang, big green candle. And then we're getting long with the program. Also setting your stop losses. There's a couple ways to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it here live. So let's go. Absolutely, Dragon, you're welcome. Let me see. All right, guys, let's just get right into picking these things out. There's no substitute for just looking at the live market and seeing if we can get the job done. The first thing that we're going to do when we want to try to find a Bollinger W, it's a double bottom. Remember that. First and foremost, it's a double bottom. That means we're going to buy. We're going to buy the market. What do we need to do to have that opportunity set up? Well, we've got to do a couple of things. Number one, we got to find a market that's in a downtrend, at least on an intraday basis. So right here, you got a nice big daily sell-off, all right? Nice big daily sell-off. So what am I looking to do here? Let's take this Bitcoin maybe down to a 30-minute chart. Okay, it just looks like price now, doesn't it? Just looks like a bunch of price action. Well, let's go ahead and add our Bollinger Bands. I believe we just used the standard settings, 20 with an SMA and a close of 2. SMA close and a standard deviation of 2. I would give you a little bit of freedom on that if you wanted to sort of tinker with Bollinger Bands. When I use Bollinger Bands, I don't use those settings. I use different settings, but that's okay. There's no right or wrong answers here. Just make sure whatever you do, whatever changes you alter the strategy with, make sure that you do some back testing. So the real question is this: do we have a W formation? You'll see we've been coming off all day long on the 30-minute, all right? Now I'm going to use my magic marker here, and it's going to get a little sloppy, but right there's a big move. Got to pull back. Did we have a buying opportunity? In my view, you didn't really get a pullback. You sort of had a hammer and then a break, and then we came down and sort of stalled out there. I don't know. You can maybe say that's a W. I don't think it's a very good one. I think what we're working on right now is a better one. There's your move. There's your initial move outside of the lower Bollinger Band. There's your pullback. That's great. So what are we looking for right now? We're looking for another bottom to set up. So you could easily say, well, Shane, that's a bottom right there, and then there's my big green candle. This is where people run into trouble trading the W. Remember, guys, patterns need to be obvious. We don't sit around and it's like going to the racetrack. You know, the value has to be there. If I'm going to bet a horse and it's got good speed numbers and I'm looking at 8, 9, or 10 to 1 payback, that's called getting value. I know that's a no play. I'm going to make that play because when I win, I'm going to get paid off at 8 or 10 to 1. And if I lose, well, the idea is the winners are going to make up for the losers. Now, admittedly, I left the track a long time ago, but you don't sit around stressing over 6 to 5 favorites that have decent speed numbers. It's too hard. Look for obvious patterns. Obvious. Is this a pretty obvious pattern? Looks like a bunch of squiggles, right? Let's take a minute and construct it. It's not bad. Right there, bang. That's the first aspect. That's element 1. Element 2. Now what are we looking for? We're looking for another downward move and then a bottom and then a big green candle. Does that qualify? It's a bottom. Okay. Is that a big green candle? In my view, no way. A big green candle, I'm looking for a close right up near the top of it. I'm looking for a body that's... the body's bigger than that inverted hammer there, but I'm looking for a much bigger body. I want to make sure that there's bidders in the market before I join it. Because if you don't, that's going to happen to you. You're going to get swept out. Now, what could happen here? You could get it. Is that a big green candle? No. What happens if you get another big green candle on a 30-minute? Yeah. Then we have a pretty good idea that maybe the bottom for the U.S. session's in for Bitcoin. Then we buy it. And if we can buy it, then we get into all the other fun stuff, which I'm going to go over right now. So every trade has 3 parts. All right, you got an entry, a profit target, and a stop loss. Yeah, you could say it has 4 parts: a setup, an entry, a stop loss, profit target. For me, the stop loss on the Bollinger W is one that I've sort of debated with people over the last, 4 or 5 months we've had this one out. If you want to get a true look at catching a double bottom, you're going to have to put your stop loss beneath the pattern as a whole. All right, so right there's your low. My stop loss in Bitcoin right now would probably be somewhere. And remember, don't put it right here. Don't be a pork chop. Don't be a pork chop. What I mean by that is that there's an old saying when you're in bear country or when you're out hunting in the woods or you're up in Alaska and you're in some parts of Montana, you got to watch yourself, or Wyoming especially. Got to watch Wyoming, but don't be a pork chop. What does that mean? It means when you're in bear country, you take care of your business. Don't be stupid. If you put your stop loss one tick beneath that low, that could easily get that stop run and then see a big reversal. I don't want that happening to anybody. It's too hard psychologically. Pad it a little bit. In the Forex, give yourself 5 or 10 pips. Well, not 10 pips, but 5 pips. In futures, give yourself a little bit more room. It's okay. But just know that once your stop loss is hit, pull the Band-Aid off and get out. So if we're going to do this, all right, it looks like we're starting to get our W set up here in Bitcoin. Nice big sell-off. I've got my stop loss. If I enter there, where does my profit target need to be? A couple of ways you could do this. Now, number one, if you're a smart money concept person, you could look for order blocks. That right there clearly is an order block up around 64.5. You could shoot for 64.5 right there and get away with it. Or you could do this as a straight function, risk versus reward function. You could. You could say, okay, well, let's say I buy in at 63.8. My stop loss is at 63.2. That's 600. Maybe I want to make 1,200 on this trade. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe put this up at 64.6. Maybe I want to make a 4 or 5 to 1 on this one. We're picking bottoms now. So I recommend at least a 1 to 1. Probably going to want to shoot for a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 here. Remember, picking bottoms is hard. Picking the ends of trends is difficult. But if you can do it, you can make a lot of money. The Bollinger W can help you not lose a fortune. And here's the other thing you can do. I don't really recommend this. I think you get chopped up way too much. You could place your stop loss beneath that second bottom. You could do that as well. For a trade like this, where we've had such a big move, you could see that it really wouldn't take much for us, especially if we get in relatively soon without too much of this range going. We could get maybe a 2 to 1 trade just shooting for that order block right there. That's not a bad trade. The problem is we're fighting a hell of a trend. We're off about 3%. So we definitely want to be cognizant of that. Let me see. I want to get out to YouTube here, take a request. Serdar Yevu, it's good to meet you. I've discovered this channel lately. The content is awesome. My favorite video is the 9 EMA strategy. Well, thank you. Straight to the point, no time wasting. All the best from Scotland. Respect. Hey, absolutely glad to have you. You're always welcome here. Scotland's a beautiful place. I've never been. I've seen it. I work with some people that are up in Scotland, and they absolutely love it. One of the great things about this community here is that we have people from all over the world. And we went over this last week. Maybe we'll do a roll call later this week, but everywhere from the U.S. to the U.K. To the Asia Pacific. We got folks down under. We got folks in New Zealand. We've got folks in Africa, South America, anywhere you can imagine they're here. So welcome to the community, and we're absolutely glad to have you. What I would say is this W is pretty good. Is it great for Bitcoin? I don't know. We're going to find out. Shane, what's going on? Can I buy right now? We're getting there. We got a pretty big green candle setting up, don't we? We'll have a little bottom there. I would consider it. I think that if you trade up here a little bit higher, maybe trade both ends of that, then you're going to bid this thing. If you can do it, you can do it. Absolutely. You're absolutely welcome, Serdar. Something like that could be very, very good. I would say that this is definitely on buyer's watch. We'll see where we close here in 6 minutes. All right, the other one we're looking at, we got this request out of the live chat, or we got this pointed out to us in the live chat. This is fantastic stuff. This is, we're looking at gold, and gold right here is the big sell-off. Got a pretty good sell-off today of about 0.75%. When we start talking about what I like to do, just this is sort of my bread and butter. That's a beautiful thing. We had that trade ID out last week. I'll go back and review it probably tomorrow. But spike low, spike high, pullback. Oh, baby. In a trending market, it doesn't get any better than 38%. It just doesn't. That's a great trade. In any case, what we're looking to do right now, we had that level right there, which is great, but that's gone. So, do we have a W setting up? Wouldn't that be something if we had a W setting up from that Fibonacci retracement? Now we're starting to get pretty sophisticated, aren't we? I love the 4-hour chart. I love the 4-hour chart on gold, something like gold. I think you could take a position for the week based on this 4-hour chart, but let's go ahead and add our Bollinger Bands. We just don't have a W. So if I wanted a W, what would I have to do? Excuse me, I got crude oil on the brain, guys. If I wanted a W right now, what would we do? 30-minute chart. Do we have one? Close but no cigar, guys. Close but no cigar. Why? Why would I say that? That's beautiful right there. That's setting up. There's your pullback. You didn't get it. Why? That second bottom's outside. It's beneath your lower Bollinger Band. That disqualifies the trade, and it's a good thing it did because it's a loser. But look what we're working on now. There's your bottom, working on a pullback. We get something down in here, maybe fade out, then absolutely we're buying. So I would definitely say that this is a work in progress. I would say that this big move right here, we got an initial bottom setting up right there outside. That's the key, guys. You got to always remember that's the first one, something like that. And I mean, and realistically, we could extend the trend like this if you want. I would just stay real current with it. There's your W. Here's your pullback. Is it over? Remember, there's no limit to how high that neckline or that pullback level can go. It can go way up here. It can go over the moving average. It typically doesn't, but it could. And then something like this could happen. We're looking for that other move right down in here. Maybe from this top. It could fade right in here somewhere. That'll give us our entry, big green candle after our entry. So to answer your question on that, I believe you pointed out the 1 hour time frame. Feel free. I mean, you can use this on any time frame you'd like. I stick to the 30 minutes and the 4 hours with gold just because that's what I know. It's what I'm comfortable with. But let's say you wanted to do something on the 1 hour. I think you could still do it. There's your low. It's the same low as on our 30 minute right there. Now you're looking for a pullback somewhere in there and another low and then a rally from there. So that would be what I'd be looking at there for a Bollinger W, potentially setting up there for the gold market. All right, everybody, there's one more thing we got to look at today, and it's tricky. I looked at our economic calendar, and as far as live analytics go, we didn't have much. That's why we went over the Bollinger W and covered a few other things today. What I would say for the rest of it, and this is our How to Trade economic calendar. Feel free to go on, check it out. But something like this, there's nothing happening here today. We had some T-bill auctions, 3 and 6 month T-bills sort of stagnant, suggest maybe dovish policies coming our way. We'll talk more about fundamentals tomorrow, but the big thing that I would point out, and I'm not even sure that it's on it, and it is right there. It's right here, Fed Chair Powell's speech. Now, he had a speech last week. It was videotaped, and it was presented. It was all prepared. Didn't move the markets an inch. Didn't move them an inch. Now, this is a different one. He's talking to a group of economists today, and he's going to have to defend the Fed's decision to cut by a half point and also give forward guidance to what we're doing in 2025 with our rate cuts. So for me, I'm looking at this as being a potential market mover. Be careful. Be careful with this exchange. It says right there it should be coming up anytime. Keep an eye on your news feed. If you see some crazy volatility, that's why. Powell's going to talk a little policy today. He could definitely shake the markets up. Be careful if you're trading U.S. equities indices towards the end of today's session because you could get a little bit of volatility, and I think that could definitely be problematic if, in fact, you're on the wrong side of it. It could also make you a lot of money. It really depends on what you want to look at. All right, guys, let's take a look at one more market, and I'm going to give you sort of my own analysis on this one because it's important to look at it. You got to look at the yen. You got to look at the yen right now, and the reason why is we had a new prime minister named last night. Get my little highlighter gone. We had a new prime minister named last night, and look at this 1 hour chart. Excuse me, I get distracted. I'm like a little kid during butterfly season. I just wind up chasing the butterflies, but you can see right there, that's a nice big break. That's a 1 hour chart for me. My bread and butter, I get this question a lot too, 4 hour chart. For me, 4 hour charts on Forex are really fantastic. Right there, I want to go right there. Bang, bang. What do I have? I got a pretty good level right there at 142.70 if I want to scalp that. It's just not that big of a range, but not a bad trade at all. What I want to focus on is the macro picture. The new prime minister supported the Bank of Japan's rate hikes, wanted a little bit hawkish policy, and instead of sort of subscribing to that original Abenomics point of view, which remember it's a three-pronged approach, which is accommodative monetary policy, less regulations, and attract foreign investiture, flood the market with yen. That was sort of replaced. This new gentleman, Kishida, I believe his name was, Ishida. Pardon me, I don't recall. Looked at 1,000 numbers today, but The idea was that they wanted to get back to more of a conventional economic model, which was big news out of Japan. Well, what happened? Well, the Nikkei crashed 5%. And we've also seen the Japanese yen sort of whipsaw sideways, or at least lose a little ground to begin the day. So if I was looking really to trade the yen, there's a couple of things you could do because you're going to get some good volatility. One of my favorite trades is to back off with big long time frames. Everybody hates them. I love them, because when I get my long-term anchor points to come into play, I'm going to have a great chance to trade. So right now we're trading about 143. We've got great resistance up there at 148. I would be selling that, but I wouldn't. It's not like I'm telling you to sell it right now or wait by the screen. Remember, it's a wrap for September. We're rolling into October. I'm looking to sell that in October sometime, and that would be a big leverage trade. If I'm trading right this minute, though, I go right down to my 4-hour chart. What do I want to do with a 4-hour? The idea is very simple. I want to follow the pressure. Big time move right there last Thursday. Your 4-hour, what do you have really? Okay, you'd have a potential sell up there, maybe 143.50. That's not a bad play, but the other way, we've got enough room here to where if we want to scalp this dollar yen, spike low, spike high, 142.69. So, all right, everybody. I think that's going to be plenty for today. We covered a lot. Good day just to game plan and get ready. I haven't had a trade today. I'm looking at WTI crude 68.40. I'm not going to get a trade, it doesn't look like. But I am watching the E-mini S&P 500 closely, and also gold futures. Gold futures, a little bit tricky to trade this morning. Ended up missing a good trade just because I wasn't out of bed early enough. It went at about 5 a.m. my time, and it wasn't worth it. So believe me, there's plenty of trades. Let me see. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Beautiful world indeed. All right, let's see. Just came across your channel today. I watched your 9 EMA trading strategy. Found it interesting. Fantastic, beautiful world. Be sure to tune back into our live streams. We do a lot. We do a lot of stuff here. I'm more of a Fibonacci specialist. Connor Woods, our trading coach out of the UK there, he's a smart money concepts specialist. There's a lot of things that we cover on these live streams, everything from chart patterns to fibs to moving averages to crossovers to I'm toying with the idea of getting into some time price offering, a little bit of market profile, but that's so it gets pretty tough. I don't know if it's worth it. All right, everybody, I want to thank you for joining me today. And if this was your first time, welcome. Don't be a stranger. All right, everybody, trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See ya.